Hello, witches. So, today we are going to talk about the cat she, or the fairy cat, otherwise known as Renegat, king of the cats. So I have my cup of coffee here. I say go get your cup of coffee, pull up a chair, because we're about to get into it, okay? Of course, we're not going to be just talking about the cat she. We're going to be talking about the Irish witch's link to the cat she, okay? Now, first of all, the Cat Sidhe up there is the Irish spelling, but the Cat Sidhe is the exact same, but in Scottish. But there are differences. They are the same thing, but the folklore is different. So I'm only speaking for the Irish path, okay? So yes, there's a Cat Sidhe in Scotland, but it is their folklore is a wee bit different to the Irish, okay? Similar, but not the same. Like Irish and Scotland, similar, but not the same. So what is the Cat Sidhe? The Cat Sidhe is a fairy cat. And don't let that term fool you. Fairy cat sounds cute, right? No. The Cat Sidhe was highly intelligent. It was an she, just in different form. And it was petty. Oh, it was so petty. It would deliver the courses for the she, as well as its own. So on a petty level, it could destroy you and your family's life, right? However, it also liked to collect souls to eat from the recently deceased. So you had to have a way to protect the soul from the Cat Sidhe. You had to make merry and you had to be loud to keep it away, to give your loved one's soul time to pass so that it didn't get eaten. So that's a quick rundown of the Cat Sidhe, right? I have a feeling I'm going to run out of time on this one. How could you tell a Cat Sidhe from another cat? Well, it was always bigger. You would be like, geez, that cat's like a dog. It was always black, but it always had a white marking on its chest. And while you were looking at that cat going, is that a Cat Sidhe? It was looking back at you, sizing you up. So let's get into the good stuff. How was the Cat Sidhe linked to the Irish witch? Well, they were the Irish witch. So I have talked extensively about Irish witches being shapeshifters or ilcruach, being multi-formed. But there was a limit. 3 trees, 9, sacred completion. An Irish witch could only turn into a cat 8 times, and on the 9th time she would be permanently turned into the Cat Sidhe. Why would an Irish witch turn 9 times into Cat Sidhe? Well, let me tell you. When she got old and her body was failing and she was about to scuffle off this mortal coil, hit August the 17th, a very important date, because that is the date she can do her last or 9th transformation. She would transform into the Cat Sidhe. And by doing this, she would become part of the fair folk, part of the she. She would gain immortality. So instead of having to live the remainder of her human life in an old, haggard, decrepit, breaking down, sickly body, she would simply exchange it for all the powers and immortality that came from being an she. Don't forget, the Irish witch is intrinsically linked to the fair folk. It is believed that we were taught our magic and our powers from the she. So August 17th, I said, remember that date. It's very important. That is the date for the 9th change. Why is that? Well, in Ireland, August 17th, it was the ending of summer, okay? So the cats were becoming more active at night, probably coming into breeding season, and they could be heard much more. It is also very significant for the change to happen on August the 17th, so that the Cat Sidhe, or the witch that has turned into the Cat Sidhe, can prepare for Samhain. It was to give her a bit of time to get used to being permanently in the Cat Sidhe's body, because on the night of Samhain, her power was going to be at its strongest as a witch and as an she, and she was going to go a hunting for souls. And don't forget, people, Irish witchcraft was a familial practice, okay? generation from generation looked after each other. It was a familial practice. So what do you think happens if someone's grandmother transforms permanently into the cat she? That's right. She's going to continue working with her family. She is then going to become an ally to her daughter, her nieces, her sisters, so on and so forth. It was very well known by the people that on that final transformation on August the 17th, they were very, very wary of any black cats that might have crossed their path, because the witches were known to be extremely temperamental while they were getting used to being in the permanent cat form. So the Irish people were terrified, and rightly so, of any black cats. They would instantly look for the white patch on the chest. They would stay out of its way, or they would treat it with kindness. And on sound night, they would make sure to put out a saucer of milk for all a she, but especially for the cat she. Because really, she was a cranky old witch in cat form, and you wanted to stay on her good side, right? Now, don't get it twisted. Not all cat she's were witches. Some cat she's were simply cat she's, simply a she in cat form. They could take on physical form. They could take on phantom form. In other words, one minute they could be there, the next minute they could be gone in a puff of black smoke. Once people spotted the white chest on the big black cat, they would look to the eyes. The eyes would be unwavering. As I said, it is an intelligent... Well, cats are intelligent in any way, but this cat would be sizing you up. She would have, remember, the witch's glare. So you're looking at her. Is that a cat sheep? But she's looking at you going, is that edible? Can I eat that soul? And then you go, oh my God, I think that's the cat she. And you go, oh, look at you. Your fur is gleaming tonight. You look great. And you go in your way. And the cat she is looking at you going, ah, sure, I let that one live. Of course, not every Irish witch is going to turn into the cat she. They're going to choose to live out their human lives. The cat she is a big reason why you stay away from fairy mounds, especially around Sound, because that is where they reside, is within the fairy mound. So it's not a good idea to go near them, especially on Sound night when the cat she is hungry at its most powerful and will snap up your soul. This is very often why women with black cats are called witches or have witchcraft accusations put upon them, because they believe it is the cat she with their family, with their generations, sticking around their generations, helping them with their witchcraft. So the Irish witch was given specific knowledge from the Aishi. Not all knowledge, just specific knowledge. They are their own thing, okay? But when the witch turns into the cat she, the knowledge is opened up for her, and she is said to bring back to her family, I keep going to say familial, same thing. She is said to bring back to her family that she works with extra knowledge. So it really is beneficial if you have an older generation member that permanently transforms on August the 17th into a cat she, because your knowledge base, number one, you gain an extremely powerful ally, and number two, you will gain more knowledge in the witchcraft magical realm. We'll finish off with a very well-known course in Ireland, which is called Course of the Cats. Basically explained what that is. That is a witch that has an ally in the cat she, and she sends the cat she to absolutely decimate a family. They will lose everything. It is literally said the others of their livestock will only give blood. This is another reason why iron was strategically placed in barns and in the house. Remember, iron will, can control the witch and can control the Aishi. It is a repellent. So they put it in the barn to try and keep the cat she out. It didn't work. It's only a repellent. Catnip, however, catnip might catch their attention for a while, but not for long. So there you go, people.